Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki
Jai.
Mathurapuri Vrindavan Dhama ki
Jai.
Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai ki
Jai.
Tulasi Devi Bhakti Devi ki
Jai.
Shyam Veda Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Shyam Veda Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Jai.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasa tato jaya mudiraye nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtuki. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 18 and Text 7 and 8. So I will recite the verse 3 times. Verse number 7, and you can please recite it. Nanudvashti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti Netarani Kritani Yat. Nanudvashti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti Netarani Kritani Yat. Nanudvashti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti Netarani Kritani Yat. Please recite.
Nanudevasti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kusalanya Siddhyanti Netarani Kritani Yat. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else want to recite?
Nanudveshti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kushalani Ashu Siddhyanti Netarani Kritani Yat.
Hare Krishna. Nanudeshti Kalim Shamrat Sharganga Iva Sarabhuk Kali Koshalanti Ashu Siddhanti Nitarani Kritani Yat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nanudvesti Kalim Samrat Saranga Iva Sarabhuk Kaushalyanya Asu Siddhyanti Netrani Kritani Yati.
Hare Krishna. So I will read word to word translation. No, never. Anudvashti, envious. Kalim, unto the personality of Kali. Samrat, the emperor. Saranga, released, just like a bee. Eva, like Sarabhuk, one who accept the substance. Kushalani, auspicious object. Ashu, immediately. Siddhyanti, becomes successful. Na, never. Itarani, which are inauspicious. Ratani, being performed. Yat, as much age. So I will read the translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Parikshit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in the age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious act must be actually performed to render defect. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. Purport. The age of Kali is called fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given some special facility to them. So, by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become victim of the sinful act until the act is actually performed. In other ages, simply by thinking of performing sinful act, one used to become a victim of the act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious activity, pious acts, simply by thinking of them. Maharaja Parikshit, being the most learned and experienced king, by the grace of the Lord, was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali, because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. He protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali, and at the same time, he gave full facility to the age of Kali by allotting him some particular places. At the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that even though all nefarious activities of prosperity of Kali are present, there is a great advantage in the age of Kali. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Thus, Maharaja Parikshit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizens from the clutches of Kali. It is for this advantage that only the great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In the Vedas also it is said that discourse on the Lord Krishna's activity, one can get rid of all disadvantages of the age of Kali. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said that by the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. These are some of the great advantages of the age of Kali, and Maharaja Parikshit took all the advantages and did not think any ill of age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult. Text number 8. Kim na baleshu surena kalina dhira bhiruna apramattah pramatteshu yorako nrishu vartate. Maharaja Parikshit considered that the less intelligent man might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care of the foolish, careless persons. But for those who are not devotees of the Lord, are careless and unintelligent, unless one is thoroughly intelligent, one cannot be a devotee of the Lord. Those who are not devotees of the Lord fall prey to the actions of Kali. It will not be possible to bring about a saner condition in society unless we are prepared to accept the mode of action adopted by Maharaj Parikshit, that is propagation of the devotional service of the Lord to the common man. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. So, very nice verses. Actually, both verses are very good. And in these verses, we can see, we are reading about Maharaj Parikshit, how he is dealing with the Kali and how nicely he dealt with sinful Kali. We can see, how gentleman was Maharaj Parikshit. So, in the first verse, 7th verse, he described the good qualities of Kali, because we always hear the bad qualities of Kali. The Kali, in the Kali Yuga, we live so small, people are so quarrelsome, all the bad qualities of Kali, we all the time hear, we do not hear actually the good qualities of Kali. So in this verse, actually, the good qualities of Kali are described. And also it is showed that what is the greatest advantage of Kali Yuga actually. And in the next verse, 8th verse, it says that people who are less intelligent are more fearful of age of Kali. So actually, Kali doesn't bother the people who are devotees or well-behaved people and self-control. They don't bother those people. Actually, people he bothered to the less intelligent, alpa medhasya. So those kind of people are affected by the Kali, and they are more fearful of Kali also, that this will happen, this will happen. They all the time think in a negative way. So what Maharaj Parikshit did, he took care of those less intelligent people or foolish people, and gave them Harinam, mass chanting. He sent Brahmanas to different places. So everywhere in his kingdom, there was Krishna Katha going on, and Harinam was going on. So Kali's effect were so much less or not at all actually. So till Maharaj Parikshit was the king of this universe, nobody was having any trouble with Kali. But as soon as he left, Kali's effect, we are seeing all everywhere in each corner. We can see the effect of Kali. So Sud Goswami actually is telling this verse to the sages of the Naimisharanya. So he was telling that as long as Maharaja Parikshit was ruling, Kali cannot show any of its effect. And we read in the last verse that Kali actually, yesterday we read that Kali was there as soon as Lord Krishna left this planet. So, but Kali could not show any effect because Lord Krishna was present here and Parikshit Maharaj was here, So Parikshit, due to powers of prowess of the Kali, Parikshit Maharaj and his expert administration and his devotion, actually, he could not do anything. So the very moment actually Krishna left this planet, Kali started spreading his adharma, because Kali, what the Kali does actually, Kali spreads adharma, impious activities actually, so irreligious activities. And so Maharaj Parikshit, what he did, he gave Harinam to everybody, he made the facility that Harinam goes everywhere, Krishna Katha goes everywhere, because Harinam is Abhinatva Nama Namina. So it is like Lord's name and the Lord himself, they are not different. So it's like he was feeling that even Krishna is there in his name. So that way, Krishna's name, if it goes everywhere, then the effect of Kali will not be there. So Kali could not enter because Krishna's name and Krishna's glory are the same actually. So Parikshit Maharaj was spreading the glories of Krishna all over his kingdom. So Kali had no way to spread his bad effects because Supreme Personality of Godhead stays in his name. So as long as people were having Shravanam and Kirtanam, Kirtaniya Sadahari, so as long as they are hearing Krishna Katha, then Kali's effect will not be there. So in today's verse, we read the word in the first line. The last word is Sarabhuk. Sarabhuk, is translated, Prabhupada translated as one who accepts the substance. Substance means the essence. So one like a bee, bee sits on different flowers and takes the honey from each flower, So Parikshit Maharaj was like that. He will take only the essence, the good thing. He will not take the bad thing. So Parikshit Maharaj did not have any grudges against the Kali because he knew that Kali cannot do anything, in his kingdom as long as people are pious and remembering the Krishna, meditating on Krishna. And he also knew that Kali has very good qualities also. If you just see the qualities, he has good quality, but everybody has good and bad qualities. So Kali also has many good qualities also. So in the Ramayana, actually, if you read, there is a shloka, it says, Kali Yuga Eka Punita Pratapa, Manasa Punya Haya Eka Nahi Papa. Means in Kali Yuga, it has a nice effect, good effect. What is that? Manasa Punya. From mind, you can do only pious activities. From mind. Haya Eka Nahi Papa. You cannot do, from mind, you cannot do any adharma, any bad activities, impious activities. So by mind, we can do punya karma, but by mind, we cannot do any papa karma. So that is very good effect. If you do the same thing in other yuga, like you think about committing any sin, like looting somebody or robbing somebody or raping someone, like that. So if you do that kind of thing, even you think about that let me, this guy is very rich, let me rob him, So if you think of that thing in other yugas, you actually don't go and don't show him the gun and don't rob him, but you still will get the sinful sins of that thinking only bad. But in Kali Yuga, you don't get, unless you really perform that act, you will not get the effect of that. But opposite to that, if by mind, if you think of doing something, not practically do it. If you think like, okay, let me do the Yamuna Snan, let me go to Yamuna Ji, like you are in USA, we will go to Vrindavan Dham, we will do darshan of all. If you think just by mind meditating on that, okay, let me go to Vrindavan and do the darshan of all the deities and everything, and then we go to Yamuna Ji, see the Yamuna Aarti, and if you think it, just meditate on that I'm going there and not go actually practically. You're sitting here only in US, but still you can, just by meditating on those activities, you can get the punya karma of that, like you have actually taken the path in Yamuna and taken the darshan of all the deities in Vrindavan Dham. So great advantage, that we can just think and get the punya karma. So there is very nice stories on very many Puranas. So I will just tell you in short 2 stories how people just thought of doing something and they got the effect actually, and it's a proven. So one story is from Brahma Vaivarta Puran. So it says that in Pratisthanpura in South India, a small village, there was a South Indian Brahman. He was actually very poor. He cannot afford anything, but he was very satisfied, because poor people actually depends on satisfaction. It's not the money. We can see a billionaire actually very unhappy, not sleeping. He needs sleeping pill every day and all the time. He was very much, angry and a lot of anxieties. But the poor guy, who has sufficient money just to eat, he will be much more happy. He can sleep very nicely. So money doesn't bring happiness actually. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time actually it gives more and more problems. So that Brahman actually, he was not well to do, but he was very satisfied in himself. And he was thinking that because of my past deeds, I'm not very well to do by the desire of Krishna. So what can be done? So he was not thinking about that, but he was living in the poor material condition very peacefully. So, and also one time he will go to listen the katha. So in one katha he heard that if sometime, you cannot do any pious activity, but if you just meditate, you can get the same punya. So he was fixing his mind on the Lord. He was actually every day he will think about that he's decorating Lord, he's buying nice jewelry for the Lord. He was thinking the nice dresses for the Lord, and every day he will think he will have that I will have the jugs, made of gold and silver, and he will bring the Ganges water in them and bear the Lord. So he was thinking all these things, meditating on all those things. And one day he was thinking like that, and then he collected all the paraphernalia like flowers, essence, fruits, sandalwood, and he did very nice worship one night, and in his meditation, in his dream, and then he offered arti, and then he finished this activity. So this kind of things he will do daily. And one day he prepared the very nice kheer with the milk in his meditation, with the milk, the sugar, and the rice. And he was just going to offer that kheer. And then he thought, that it is just freshly made, it may be hot for the Lord, and Lord's tongue will get burned. So he washed his hand and he touched the kheer surface, how hot it is. And suddenly he got blisters. His finger got burned and he got blisters on the finger. So at that time, he awoke from his meditation, from his sleep, and then he saw his finger was really burned, and he was thinking how my finger can get burned. And the same scene actually in the Vaikuntha Lok, Lord Vishnu was sitting with so many Lakshmijis, and they were serving him. And then he started suddenly smiling very nicely and laughing. So Lakshmijis asked, what happened actually? So Vishnu, Lord Vishnu sent the Vishnu Dut to bring that Brahman. So the Brahman was brought there, and then in presence of the Brahmana, then Lord Vishnu told the story that see his finger, how it got burned. He was meditating on the milk. And so all the Lakshmis were wondering that how nice is Kali Yuga, that just by thinking, performing this activity in meditation only, not in actuality, but you can still get the benefits, So that's the great effect of the Kali Yuga. It never happens in other yuga. Other yuga, you have to actually perform that activity. Otherwise, you cannot get the benefit. So second story I will like to tell from Chaitanya Charitamrita about the Nakul Brahmachari. So Nakul Brahmachari, actually Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually was in Kulia, and he was staying in the Kulia doing the Harinam every single day. So Nakul Brahmachari did his darshan, and then when he went home, he was thinking that Lord is going on the road. He was going to Vrindavan actually, from the Nilachal Dham, from Jagannath Puri, and in the way he stopped at Kulia. So Nakul Brahmachari was thinking that the Lord is going, and his feet are so soft, just like lotus, and then these stones, the roads are so rough, and there are so many stones, so many thorns. So he was thinking, that gosh, Lord has nice road, soft, so he can walk on it easily and his feet will not get hurt. So he was thinking what to do. So in his meditation, he made the nice road, white road, so all the other devotees also, who are accompanying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can go with him, from that path. So he made a nice road just on meditation by the diamonds. And then he was thinking that these diamonds may be very hard for Lord's soft feet. So that way he brought lot of the rose petals, and then he spread all around on the top of that diamond road. So it became very soft. Then he was thinking that this is too hot, weather, and sun is so hot, right from the morning till evening. And when Lord walks, he gets so much sunlight, and the sunshine on his body. So that's why he put buckler tree all around the road. So he put many buckle tree, which gives lot of really shadow. So Lord will not have the direct sunshine on him. Then he put lot of flower trees all around the road, so with nice fragrant air can come. Then he made lots of the lakes, water lakes, small lakes, and so and filled them with the nice nectarian water from the spring, different springs, so water was so tasty. So whenever Lord wants, he can take bath, he can drink the water, quench his thirst. So that way he was thinking about each facility Lord. Then he brought many birds, so they nicely can make the noises, and then Lord will be very happy. So he was thinking about how the Lord will be happy. And then he made the road till Kanai Natshala. And then suddenly he awoke from his meditation. So then he said, oh my God, I could have made the road till Vrindavan, but now Lord will not go. He knew that Lord will not go beyond Kanai Natshala. So actually that thing happened, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on first time when he was going to Vrindavan, he could go up to Kanai Natshala, and then he had to return back because Sanatana Goswami suggested then that, Lord, you should not go with so many people, and the road is not good, and there are many kingdoms in the way, which ruled by the Muslims. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned back to Jagannath Puri, and then second time he went alone with only one person. So Baldev, what was his name? Our president, what was his name from Atlanta?
Kalabhadra.
Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Yes, so Balabhadra Bhattacharya he took with him. So these stories actually tell us that what actually happens even you meditate, you can still get the effect. And Nakul Brahmachari was not a simple person. He was actually great personality. And because Lord will come in his body in Avesh form. And one time Haridas Thakur actually wanted to test him, and he knew what is going on. Then he remembered where is the Haridas. He called him. He said, and also Haridas Thakur wanted to know that, not Haridas Thakur, it's Shivananda Sen. So Shivananda Sen wanted to know, and he actually told, this is the shloka, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave you. And so he knew everything. So Lord actually comes in three forms. One is Sakshat Darshan, one is Avirbhav, incarnation in somebody, some person, and then Avesh, he enters in somebody's body, and then that person will act like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Lord will come in Avesh form in Nakul Brahmachari, then his color will change, whole body's color will change to golden complexion, and he will talk like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will sing like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nakul's Brahmachari had that kind of like benediction, that Lord can come in his body and stay there, and he can act like it. So by the will of the Krishna, if you are thinking of some pap karma, but in Kali Yuga, even just by thinking, we will not get any pap karma. Just only thinking the positive things, punya karma, we will get pap. If Lord gives us this kind of thing that he will give pap karma just by thinking, like people get in other yuga, then my God, how everybody will not be here. They will be all dead, because we think so many bad things whole day from morning to evening, that this thing happened to this person, this thing happened to this person, this guy is a bad guy, like that. We criticize all the time. Even we don't criticize in front of the person, but in the heart we had so many envy and jealous and all those things, So so that's actually good advantage of Kali Yuga. We do not become victim of the result of the bad thinking in the Kali Yuga. And just by thinking about going to Vrindavan, we can get the benefit of Vrindavan. So this is the great benefit of Kali Yuga. But and also in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is written, the shloka in the 10th chapter, Kale Dosho Nidhe Rajan, in the 12th canto actually, Kali Dosho Nidhe Rajan Asti Ek Mahan Guna Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Pradet. So just by thinking, because there are thousands and thousands of dosha in the Kali Yuga, but it has one great good thing, good quality, that just by Krishna Kirtan, Krishnasya, Kirtanadi Eva Krishnasya, just by remembering Krishna, then we can get liberated. So Parikshit Maharaj actually was, as Prabhupada is putting in the purport, that he was not envious of Kali Yuga, because he let it come, because he was thinking, he knew, because he was a great soul, so he knew that Kali Yuga has so many good things also, not just bad things. So he was thinking that let Kali Yuga come, because it was time of Kali Yuga anyway, and it was Lord's plan, so he wanted to accept whatever is Lord's plan, and Kali Yuga comes in his kingdom, that's fine. So what he was thinking, that let Kali Yuga come and let more and more people go back to Godhead, because in Kali Yuga is so easy, because in other yugas it's very hard to get liberation and get Krishna. Much easier to attain Krishna than any other yugas. So Parikshit Maharaj actually was thinking that people will get actually very much advantage of this Kali Yuga. So if you think about something, cannot do it practically, then okay, let me bring nice dresses from Vrindavan for our Supreme Lord, our deities here, and are sponsoring the feast for the Lord, are making some good food. Just by thinking, we can get that benefit, that punya karma. So how nice it is, So, but it's not like we should all the time, okay, let me just think, not do it preferably. We should never think like that, we should think it and do it, meditate on Krishna and do it also. Is because people, who are very poor, if he thinks that thing, like that poor Brahman in South India, he could not afford anything, but he thought it actually Lord of reciprocated, according to his capability. But somebody has millions of dollars and he meditated, okay, I'm giving $3 million here for the construction of temple, and do not give, then it's not good actually. He will give some benefit, but not whole benefit. But somebody doesn't have any, he thinks, then Krishna will definitely give him the benefit. So Parikshit Maharaj actually was, as written in this, he's Saragrahi. He will take like in the 7th verse, it says that like a honeybee, he goes on different flowers and collect the honey. So like that, Parikshit Maharaj was also taking the sense of this word actually, what is good. So he took, and that's why he didn't have any enviousness, because he found advantage in Kali Yuga, that this is a great age. And actually, we can see that many people actually want, Kali Yuga is so great, we are born here, but we all the time say, oh my God, I'm in Kali Yuga, so degraded age, people are so degraded, but still it's so easy to get Krishna in this age. That's why so many demigods actually in the Swargalok and other upper planetary system, they are all waiting in the line to get birth in Kali Yuga on this Earth planet, because in the Swargalok, they cannot do any pious activity there, because that's a bhog bhumi there. Just they enjoy whatever they did, pious activity, they enjoy. When all their pious points finishes, they have to come back here. So those souls now, they have to come in this Earth planet, but they have to wait in the queue, because they want to get birth in the womb of some devotee's house or some aristocratic family, things like that. So all the time, the womb is not ready. Womb is not there. So that's why one time, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he was attending a wedding of Rupanuga Prabhu's daughter. And then Maharaj was telling in his lecture that this is very good, that Vaishnavas should marry to Vaishnava, and then so all the demigods who are waiting, their souls can come in the womb. So he said that's a good pious activity to get married. If somebody want to have Garastha life, then devotee should marry with some devotee family, and he said that's how I attend the marriage, and because this is actually a blessing for that particular soul, he can get in devotee's womb, and then he can take, if the womb is not ready, they have to wait longer and longer time. So this is good thing. And in the 8th verse, Parikshit Maharaj, it says that Parikshit Maharaj was powerful like a tiger. So those who are not actually, who are not devotees, and so they are actually people who are not devotees in Kali Yuga, they are living very dangerous life. Like people who have no tilak, no kanthimala, and no harinam, no japabit, nothing, they are not living like a devotees. For those people, it's a very dangerous Kali Yuga, and they will really feel the effect of Kali Yuga. Devotees do not feel that much effect because they are all the time busy in harinam. But people who do not have kanthimala is just like a dog, who has master, they have the belt. So if the municipality comes, they will catch up only the dogs, which doesn't have the belt, So they will spare those dogs. So we are dog of our Guru Maharaj and Radha Krishna. So when the Yamdut comes, when they see Kanthimala, they will not touch the devotees. So that is the great advantage of being a devotee, that actually we have some master and we can serve him. But people who are not devotees, they do not have that kind of facility. So actually Kali, people are affected by the Kali, who are alpamedrisha, less intelligent, and who are not devotees. But Kali cannot touch any devotee. And so actually devotees should not get fearful, who are self-controlled. So actually, when Maharaj Parikshit considered this thing, that these foolish people who are less intelligent people, they who are not devotees, to give them regular Harinam and Kirtan. So he took care of in whole of his kingdom. Actually, he spread the Harinam Kirtan. So Kali could not show any effect, and that's why Kali, till Parikshit Maharaj was here, Kali could not show any effect. So he propagated the devotional service to common men. So if we can think, if the all government actually wants to spread the Krishna conscious activity all over the kingdom, then what will happen? This will be Ram Rajya actually. Everybody will be happy. There will be no problems at all. But see, the democratic governments, they all the time see their own vote bank and everything, and that's why sometimes it's very hard actually to spread the Krishna conscious activity, because the people, the government itself is bad. So we can see the character of the people in Kali Yuga, which is so bad in the Kali Yuga. And so I would like to say some bad effects of Kali Yuga, and that we already discussed about good effect, and then what we can do in this Kali Yuga, how we can spread the Harinam, and how we can get rid of these effects of Kali Yuga. So we will discuss that in 5-10 minutes, and then we will open for discussion. So we heard one thing, that in Kali Yuga people will live very short life, like 50 years at the end of the Kali Yuga, like 50 years or less. And the height also will slowly, like we can know, we see that we hear and read that Arjuna and Bhim, and even at the end of Kali Yuga, 5,000 years ago, they were like 12, 15 feet high. And now we can see our height, going 5-6 feet, and slowly it will go half of that, by the end of the Kali Yuga, maybe 3-4 feet. People will be so short. So one time, what happened that the Revati Mataji, who is the wife of Balramji. So Revati's father, he took Revati as a young girl to Brahmaji, just to ask, who is a suitable husband for her. She was very tall, So then they just went for a few minutes there in Brahmalok in front of Brahmaji. According to Brahmalok time in the Brahmalok, which is too long, 1 minute is several thousands and thousands of years in Kali Yuga. So what happened? They stayed very short while, and then when Brahmaji came, but because Brahmaji was busy when they went, so they were waiting some time, and then Brahmaji came out, and then he showed that who is the suitable husband for my daughter Revati. So Brahmaji told, that by the time you go down there, it's already thousands and thousands years past, so all the people, your kingdom, everything is ruined, gone. There's nothing there. So, but he said that Baldevji is still on the planet Earth, and he is the suitable husband for Revati. So they went to Baldevji, and at that time Baldevji's height was according to the age, so it was like 7 feet, 8 feet, whatever it may be at that time. So, and the Revati was almost 15 feet. So what happens? Baldevji actually took his plow, put on her shoulder and pushed it, pull it down, then her height was little less than Baldevji. So that way, then he married to Revati. So this is the effect of Kali actually, that people are getting shorter and shorter. So I will just read few effects of Kali Yuga, and then we will discuss how to get rid of the Kali Yuga. So as the age of Kali progresses, all good qualities of men will be diminished. So the qualities of the men, whatever good qualities people have, it will go less and less. and all the bad qualities, impure qualities will go more and more. So Sukdev Goswami has explained the bad quality like truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life. These all will be diminishing day by day. And in Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered a sign of man's good quality. So people will be evaluated by his wealth, what he's having. Somebody rich, he has all fine qualities, all the bad qualities are gone. Once you are rich, everybody, and all the law and justices applied only on the basis of power. People who are powerful, they can get anything done, no problem. So men and women live together merely because of superficial attraction. But that is the purpose of life, because and businesses will depend on the deceit, how much they can cheat other people. All the businesses we can see, big firms, how they are cheating simple people, labeling things, which are not give that much good effect, but they still sell them, So the citizen will suffer from cold, winter, heat, rain, snow. So they will be suffering by these and tormented by the quarrels, hunger, thirst, disease, and severe anxieties. And that duration will be so much short on life duration. So of all the yugas, actually, Kali Yuga is the worst age in the Shastra. It is the worst one. But so it says that when there is a predominance in cheating, lying, sloth, sleepiness, violence, depression, lamentation, so all the bewilderment, fear, poverty. So then we should know that this is age of Kali, So this is people are in mode of full ignorance, Those who knows nothing about the religion will mount on the high seat. So we can see different gurus, how they are sitting on the Mount Hill on the big asan, and they do not have any knowledge. They do not know what Krishna is actually. And they talk about the religious principles. So how they can talk without knowing anything? They themselves don't follow. So this is the actually misfortune for the people of Kali Yuga. And they are following those religious leaders, So like blind people take other one, and other blind, and then they both fall in the ditch. So that's what happens. So there's a lot of degradation for religion, and also the atheistic thoughts, So people are so much atheistic, and all sacrifice to God will stop. So nobody is doing any yajna. And because from the yajna, actually, all the demigods get happy and they give rain and everything on time, sun, rain, everything goes with the demigods, and Krishna is not happy if the sacrifice is not done. So actually, with all these bad qualities of Kali Yuga, still despite of all these facts, the scriptures declare that greatest quality of, like we say from the 12th chapter, 12:351, Kalyat Dosho Nide Rajan Asti Ek Mahan Guna. Although Kali Yuga is the ocean of fault, there is still one good quality about this age, that simply by chanting the name of Krishna, one can become free from these all material bondages and promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So this is the greatest advantage of Kali Yuga. So in other yuga, actually, people have to do, like in Satyuga, people have to meditate thousands and thousands of years. Like we can see Mother Parvati, she meditated to get Lord Shiva for 60,000 years. So because they were living 100,000 years in that yuga, so people can meditate long time. And same thing, they have to perform big yajnas in the Treta Yuga, and big temples worship, making big temples, and doing elaborate worshipping of the Lord. So that was in Dwapar Yuga. But Kali Yuga, we can get the same benefit of doing those so many years of tapasya just by doing the Hari Nam, just remembering Hari, meditating on the Hari, and being his devotee, is accepting spiritual mastery. So simple things in Kali Yuga. People in Satyuga, people used to live in the forest for so long time, but we can imagine, how people can live in the forest now, there is no forest practically, and the process is very difficult in Kali Yuga, those kind of things. So in Kali Yuga, Lord give us very special benediction, because as Prabhupada put it, that because we have like we are taking disadvantage of being in Kali Yuga, so Lord gave us special benediction that we have lost all good qualities and we have no proper qualification. Lord give us simplest and quickest method of self-realization. And what is that? He has given us chanting of the Harinam. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatir, Anyatha. In the age of Kali Yuga, there is no other way to attain the supreme destination of life except by chanting the Harinam. So that despite all the sinful qualities of this age, we have the greatest opportunity to take advantage of this yuga, especially. So the sages and saints, actually, they used to take thousands years by meditating on. We can get the same benefit just by chanting purely. So we heard in a class a few days ago that just by proper chanting without any offense, and by associating with devotees and not criticizing the devotees, just by these three simple things, we can actually attain the liberation. So it's so easy in Kali Yuga. It's not way. So if you just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So for this reason, actually, Narad Muni actually glorified the age of Kali, that this is the best yuga. That's Narad Yuga. Narad Muni is saying, And the negative qualities are no comparison to the great spiritual opportunity, because it has negative things, but everybody has negative and positive things. It's not something new, because even the devotees, as a devotee, we have many, many bad qualities and we have some good qualities also. So everybody has good and bad in them. So similarly, Kali Yuga has bad things, but of course it has very nice thing that just by remembering Krishna in Kali Yuga, we can get him. So please, we should take the advantage of the special mercy of Lord and take full advantage of Kali Yuga and get out of this cycle of birth, death. So there is still 15 minutes left, but I will end here and we will open for discussion if somebody has any question, comment, reflections. So we can discuss that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the nice class.
Thank you, Mataji.
If anybody has any reflections, any thoughts, please just unmute yourself. Go ahead. It was a good point, Prabhu, that you were saying there are some good qualities also about Kali, because all the time we hear all the bad qualities. But as devotees, I think it is good for us to focus on how we can actually progress ourselves faster if we do it, of course, properly and with the right consciousness. I think all week we have been talking about that word consciousness. What matters most is that we keep our consciousness in the right place. So you explained all of that very nicely. Anybody else have any other thoughts? Charuchandra Prabhu, Kalpesh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for the nice class and giving me opportunity. Yeah, Kali Yuga, you said it's all, everything is easy. Chanting and then just listening Krishna Katha. Even that, most of the people are not taking advantage. That is the saddest thing, Prabhu. So just chanting is so simple. Wherever we are, we need not read any book or anything, just chant. There is few words, it's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So simple. But even that, I just feel so bad. But even that Kali Yuga, people are not taking that advantage. And you are telling that demigods are waiting for this, coming to Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
They-
And we are feeling sorry. That's why I'm in the Kali.
we are feeling sorry, Dukhalayam, this, that, and all.
Yeah.
But we're taking advantage, and it's a simple thing, and all the scriptures are there, and Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, everything is there. They are telling.
This is human nature. They all the time think about bad things, negative things, they don't go on positive things much faster, All the bad things, somebody, we see some devotee, we will see his bad qualities first, That's the human nature, that's unfortunate, but we should see the good qualities, everybody has good qualities.
Yeah, but Krishna has given this human nature, See, he says, no, don't look into that bad things. But he gave all that kind of things in Kali Yuga and this human thing. And it's very hard to get out of that also. And then, but chanting those things, I feel, see, sometimes, I really prefer that listening to Katha, this Bhagavatam, listening.
Yeah, that's also very pious activity, listening.
Other than reading, I don't know, reading, I'm not that good. But listening, I just love to. And I want to. But see, all these simple things in Kali Yuga we have. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this one too. And then, like you said, you meditating that I am in Vrindavan, I am in Puri Jagannath. I just always think when those places I went there, I was there. And I always feel that they used to allow, now I don't know whether they're allowing or not, inside the Puri Jagannath, we did the parikrama pradakshina, for those deities. I still remember those days. Whenever I think of Puri Jagannath, I think I'm doing that pradakshina in that main deities. But I'm here. I'm not able to go there. So
But you will get the benefit though, just by meditating on that.
I don't know whether I'll get it or not, but still I feel that. Just Mayapur, I went there. Those days only I remember, like 10, 15, 20 years back, or 30 years back, I went there. Now it must have been changed. Vrindavan, I had been there. But now I want to go, but I'm not able. Not able to means all the circumstances, those things. It's not allowing. I'm not able to take their step to go. So those things are there. But Kali Yuga, it's a lot of things are easy. But still we're not able to do that.
Very true. We should take full advantage of the qualities of Kali Yuga, that Kali Yuga has good qualities, so we should take advantage of those good qualities, forget about the bad qualities.
Yeah.
Then we will not get the effect of Kali Yuga, actually, so those things.
Yeah, we always think Kali Yuga, oh, we are in Kali Yuga, these bad things will happen. Like that we always say. But we can get those good things also by doing chanting, kirtan, and everything. Thank you very much for a nice class.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. You brought up excellent points related to Kali Yuga. I want that reminder every time in my head. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mataji, for giving this opportunity. Actually, I wanted to tell, yesterday I went, there was an Earth Day event in my township where I live, and wanted to share this Krishna consciousness by meeting other people. My observation is like this was specially dedicated for the Earth Day event. Then instead of I wanted to tell something, I wanted to ask something to them, like what was the reason why we celebrate the Earth Day, why we do it. So, and what made you, rather than I ask him why are we celebrating? Why are you here for specifically for the Earth Day? I asked that kind of question. And most of the responses I got that they were kind of representative of certain organization which they represent. Either it could be their personal businesses or it could be they are working for someone. And there was one politician group from Democrat. They were also having their stall. So I was also inquiring from them and I was hearing from them. Then in that topic, when because I was looking for an opportunity to let them know there is a Krishna consciousness and there is a Bhakti yoga. Um, so Prabhuji, my difficulty also is in the Kali, like when we try to give this Bhakti yoga to other, what constantly worries me is to use word called God. If I start using the word God, then immediately there will be defense that they will not listen to it, that conversation, because they may be biased, or it could be other thing is like depending on what skin I carry, they will also look at it. That is a skin disease with everyone, right? So they may see that I'm of certain skin and I cannot say things like this, or it might the influences are very strong. So the preaching in that sense become very challenging to tell somebody, and the attention span are being reduced. So like we cannot clearly tell something in very short time frame when we are meeting someone and wanted to spread the awareness of Krishna consciousness. We try to give the flyer, but we know that most of the time, but that doesn't mean that we should stop doing this, but most of the time people don't have the habits of reading nowadays. They don't read. They are almost everybody is in some kind of device or phone and all, and the attention span is getting reduced. So I came across in some of this statistic, it is less than 8 seconds now. It's below the animal actually. Even the below the animals has certain greater span of attention, but humans have lost that capability also as well. Like there is no attention span. So when there is no attention span, how do we really communicate with anyone? Because first of all, that God word is being very risky to use. Not even I'm not trying to say even Krishna, but even a God word is little challenging. And on top of it, there is a philosophy. And I also asked them, what is the advancement of civilization? Because I read a Bhagavatam, so and they thought, yeah, I thought, do we think accumulation of wealth, building a lot of infrastructures, doing a lot of like expansion of this industrial enterprises, would that be an advancement of civilization? And most of them said yes. Most of them said yes, and they were participant of Earth Day. So I told, like, Srimad Bhagavatam says us that advancement of civilization is to not to do with the expansion of the uh, industrial enterprises, but it has to do with the natural resources and natural wealth we possesses. Uh, so that is considered the advancement of civilization, according to Srimad Bhagavatam. And then on top of it, people don't do the sinful activity, and then they kind of participate in that kind of consciousness. That is also, but I cannot say those things to them because they are not even in that platform to listen spiritual thing. But at least from material point of view, they had no clue why the Earth Day is celebrated, what makes people to come together on this event and to do better things for, like, they even don't treat animals as a living entity. They may eat the dead body, and there were dead body cooking on that day. So many dead bodies were cooking on that, and people were enjoying that, and a lot of the clothes they were wearing, enjoy the life or something like this, and then all those things are written. So even though they come for a reason, for a natural Earth Day, like, but the idea of conception of the Earth Day is totally not so good. Even I mean, it's not even from material standpoint, it is not nice. So knowing all this, I still gave to 4 or 5 different people who had, but my challenge was this, the attention span and other this. So how do we really target that?
Yes, Prabhu, you did good job. At least you told them, and you have that kind of, that you went in front of those people and you were talking to a few of them. See, people in Kali Yuga is written in all Shastras that they will be less than animals. Actually, they have all animalistic qualities, eating, sleeping, drinking, all those things, offending. So people are bad, but Srila Prabhupada actually demonstrated, how to spread movement. Like Prabhupada actually went to all hippies. It was a hippie revolution at that time, much worse than what we see the people today. They were all taking drugs, and they were so in 60s, very bad time, but Prabhupada came at that time, and then he can show the wonders because, of course, he was actually Mahabhagavat, and he had empowerment from his own guru and Lord Krishna, so he could do it. But we also have empowerment by Sri Prabhupada. He has blessings, that the more you spread. So actually, in the beginning, it's better just to do Harinam and let people's mentality change a little bit, because by Harinam they will get little purified, and then philosophy nobody will understand in the beginning, So Prabhupada actually used giving prasadam and the Harinam kirtan, So by hearing the kirtan and eating prasadam, slowly they got little better from inside, and because you meet different people. Prabhupada was meeting the same people, and many people were the same in that area. So that is little different than what you are seeing. The next time you go, and you will see the different people again. And so it's a little harder, but by Krishna's mercy, they will get change. Slowly. It will take time, but whatever. Yeah, we cannot say God word because people are so. They do not want to hear. They say everybody, I'm in charge of my life. Why you are putting God in? So many people, they don't want to bring the God in between. We can say some supernatural power. There is somebody, who is controlling this whole Earth Day. We are celebrating all this material nature, who is giving rain, who is giving these things, So at least there is somebody who is in charge, who is running, like even to run a small machine, you need some kind of control, somebody's running those things. So how this so big creation can run without any human being, without any authority? So that they can understand. But if somebody challenges like that, we can see that, we can say that somebody has to run this whole material nature, some superhuman being. Otherwise, nobody can run, who brings rain on the time, like now, the spring is coming, we can see all the new leaves are coming on the trees, how nice the leaves and the flowers are coming, we can see all different colors. The nature looks so beautiful, like we are seeing those trees, without any leaf and no flowers, and it was looking so bad, but now it looks so beautiful, it's so nature is so beautiful, and who is doing that on time? Who is sending the rain on time? Who is sending the moon? So at least there is some authority, even we don't say God, but at least somebody is doing it. It cannot happen without any power. So somebody has that power and somebody is doing that. Yeah. I know it's very hard without saying God, but people don't want to hear what can be done. It's just misfortune. And one of the characteristics of Kali Yuga. So, and Kali Yuga effect can only go away by Harinam only. Yeah, so Hare Nama, okay. So it's a big problem, Prabhu, I understand, but there's no easy solution. Just we have to have the blessings of Guru and Krishna, then only we will be empowered. And then only we will be able to give Harinam, otherwise not. Yeah, so we should just beg our Guru and Krishna for their blessings. So it can be done that way. Otherwise, it will be hard. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I hope I answered a little bit, but it's not a sufficient answer. If somebody else wants to, Charisana Prabhu, you want to say something?
I sorry, somebody was saying.
Go ahead, Charachandra Prabhu.
I didn't have anything to add to your answer, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your class. The one thing I'll just say is when I first studied this section and I realized the advantages of being in Kali Yuga, where you can actually think something wrong without suffering the result of that, because as you pointed out, we always do that. We have these thoughts, something happens to us and we think, we start thinking of different things that could be done as a retaliation. And so after I studied this section, so many times during the day, I would think, man, it's a good thing it's Kali Yuga, because I have all these thoughts going through my head and they would be putting me in such a bad situation. And so there's two things that this can that can happen because of this knowledge. We can either be thankful that we're not in Kali Yuga and then take advantage of the fact that we can also meditate on doing positive things and actually get the benefit of that. And that's a good way of doing it, because then we're actually striving to become more Krishna conscious. Or we can take it as a cop-out and say, well, it doesn't matter. We can think whatever we want. This is Kali Yuga. We don't get any reaction for it. And then so that we can use that to justify performing all sorts of blasphemy and all sorts of other activities in our minds. And so that would all obviously be unhealthy. So how we take information says a lot about what our consciousness is. And so if we take advantage of it properly, then it can actually help our Krishna consciousness. But if we use it as a cop-out or an excuse that, oh, it's okay, it's Kali Yuga, no problem, then our consciousness will actually be degraded. But yeah, this is something that I was meditating on when I first studied this section.
Thank you, Prabhu. Muktidati Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all Vaishnavas. This is Brajesh Govinda. Yeah,
Hare
I don't
Krishna.
have any question, Prabhu. This is like, is my understanding is if we really, this obey all the things with the Srila Prabhupada, I think so we are all going to be delivered. Because, that's why Prabhupada said in the honeybee and also the fly. This is the two things. He has one quote. And we need to be looking for really for the honeybee always, like, he's a very good thing, and the fly always looking for the, all the oats thing. This is like, we are respect all the things Prabhupada, then is fine. No need to affect anything, colleague. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else has any comments, questions? Otherwise, we can close it for today, and we will join again tomorrow morning.
I don't
So
see
thank
any more hands up. So
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrinda ki jai.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you.